everyone, and welcome back to the Stanley Parable. As always, we're starting right from the start because who knows what it's going to throw at us. And also, as always, on Stanley Parable, joining us is Leo.
Your favorite fictional co-host.
What time is it? Does anyone really, truly know? Of course
No.
they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all of the game's settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. And now, the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. So does that mean the next time there's like nothing special?
I believe so.
Oh, well, we'll start it anyways, just in case next time. And I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us knows what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. Now, if I would have actually set the time, would that have circumvented all this?
I don't know. I think it still would just go down the same path.
That's just curious. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyways. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Well, according to it, we won't. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? No, I like having the bucket, dick. That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There is still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again, if you can find me. Talk soon. Oh, what's that about?
I can't quite remember. I have a half-baked memory on, I think that connects to something.
Alright. So let's work on setting up the heaven ending, even though it wouldn't let me take the bucket last time for the... Like, it was just like, no. No heaven ending for you. So I thought the first computer was in the offices. Also, I don't remember this being here before. Like this... I was really sure the first computer was in.
Oh, that's just the thing, just so you can't get past without missing the bucket, because people
walk behind and
they would just completely miss the bucket.
They go like this and go around.
Yeah, and then they wouldn't see the bucket at all. And so it's just to help force people into noticing the bucket.
So I didn't see the first computer. Like, I checked all the computers. Okay, so we have one of the longer endings. Let's start with that one.
Yeah, so that's going down the escape one. That'll keep you busy for a little bit.
What ones of these do we still have? Somewhere both red and blue, and nearby a fireplace.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
This is red. Let me open the door. Oh, you know a trophy I didn't get in the boss's office yet? Typing 000 in the key, or 888 in the keypad.
Any human life.
That's one.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence.
I got the trophy. 8888888.
In his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos? It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk.
That he entered
Nor in his
888.
bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
Man, I'm having trouble aiming right now.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one.
And then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
You got another one?
Yep. I'm guessing that's the one by the fireplace? Because we went past the boss's fireplace to get in here.
Probably, yeah.
Which means we still have the area that's both red and blue. That's the last one.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley.
Okay, so now I know how you
Everything
get
will
the
be
bucket
fine.
ending, heaven bucket ending.
Oh, what was I doing wrong?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large
It's
door that
sort of a
read,
random trigger.
Mind
You know when the
Control
phone
Facility.
rings?
Uh-huh. I want to go escape path, right?
Yes.
Okay, when the phone
So
rings.
when the
Passageway had the
when the
word
phone,
escape
like when you
written on
leave
it,
Stanley's
the truth
office, like you
was
got to
that
go
at the
through, you
end
got
of
to
this
do all
hall,
the
Stanley and the
inputs,
bucket would both
and
meet a
then
violent death.
once you're on to the final input for doing it in Stanley's
The door
office,
behind
you
them was
have to
not shut.
get the
Stanley and the
randomized
bucket still
starter
had every
of where the
opportunity to turn
phone's
around
ringing in the
and get
office,
back on track.
because you can go grab the
At this
bucket and
point,
turn
Stanley
around,
and the
and
bucket were
your
knowingly
office door
walking
doesn't
forward
close.
into a very painful
Oh.
death for each of them.
Is that only if I don't pick up the phone, or...
No, the phone just needs to be ringing. So, like, I get, like, in the video they did pick up the phone, but with the phone ringing, your office door doesn't close.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I remember this place now. This is with the smasher thing, right? Yeah.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Goodbye, bucket, old friend. I love you. We live!
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
I'm just gonna live by these boxes now. They're my other new friends. Bucket and the 3 boxes.
Lol.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Is this a memorial ceremony for the bucket? The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. Blah, 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 blah. Read it in your own time. Chair, do you want to join our club? We have boxes and a bucket.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you
Those
see
are
the
all the buckets
hubris
from
that
that one
blinded
ending.
him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Bucket with 2 handles. Whoa.
Mm.
Inferno bucket. Let me take the Inferno bucket. Or don't. Cave drawings with the bucket.
Reminds me of
No
Space
man
Odyssey.
can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
That seems like a hole I can fall in. A hanging bucket. What? I can't fall in the hole. I took the bucket, the hanging one.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Get a new bucket?
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let
feel like there
Stanley
was more I
die
could have done in
together.
that section.
The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
So they're going to put me back in that bucket area?
No. I don't believe it should.
So if I wanted to explore that area more, I'd have to run back there again.
Yes.
All of his
Bastards.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
They tricked me. Oh, hey, it's gone this time.
Is Stanley without the bucket really Stanley at
Oh,
all?
but this is here.
No, surely not.
Is there more to explore in the bucket
Stanley
area?
clutched the bucket
Not
tightly
really,
to his
that's-
chest
it's
and
just,
entered the door on his
second.
left.
Weird gag for the bucket.
Well, somewhere both red and blue. Yeah, that's the last thing I need.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Aha! This elevator doesn't do anything now.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to
Is it
discover not an
2845?
indication of any human
Yes.
life.
I always
Crushed by
forget,
the weight
even
of
though
this
we just did it
revelation,
like
Stanley may have broken down into an emotional.
a little bit
Stanley
ago.
guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Come bucket. We have to fuck with the narrator.
Phrasing.
We have to fuck with the narrator. Oh, come bucket. Every time, huh?
Please clip that.
No, I'll talk to the editor.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back
You gotta
up?
get the little
When I was
fucking,
pressing those keypad
Archer
buttons, there was
fucking had
something
to
very
pop in.
intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back
Crazy.
so I can try pressing the number 3
I
again.
don't know how copyright
Bucket
strike
said
would work with
nothing.
that.
I think it's fair use in parody.
I don't know.
Here
We're
we are,
back.
said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad
Number
and began
3?
absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over.
Okay.
Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him?
Yeah, what?
Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Okay. I don't know why the number 3 was special there.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
The bucket just doesn't understand the number 3 like I do. It's depressing. I thought we were best friends, Bucket.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
I wonder why they picked the number 3 for this. If they would have picked 8, it would have, like, put people in for getting the trophy without, already knowing it's a trophy.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all. Only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Oh, now we're sad, Stanley. Slow walk, Stanley. Why you do this, Bucket? I thought we were friends. I'm just gonna go back to the elevator, I guess. Bye, generator. Bye, light. Bye, other light. Bye, weird omnipotent light up there.
Bye, drywall.
Bye, drywall. Bye, where we found that one collectible.
Goodbye,
red
16-on-inch studs.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
I wish I could throw the bucket so I could be like, why don't you understand?
Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
To the public,
For months,
Bucket.
he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further.
Grilled peace, baby.
When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
3.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Come on, Bucket. I need to tell you about the number 3. It's so
There was
great.
no one here.
Uh-oh.
Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to
What a
listen
bunch
to
of
him
dibs.
talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Wow, that got dark. That also got dark. That being the screen this time. Wow. I
All
don't
of
even
his
know what to
co-workers
think.
were gone. What could it mean?
Depressing.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets everywhere. This adventure, he decided, was for all of them.
Come, Bucket, we have adventures to have. Even though you abandoned me.
Stanley clutched the bucket
I forgot we
tightly
have
to his
this one
chest.
yet.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here
We're not
it
hanging out
was.
here
Had
for
the
the
bucket
dialogue
turned
with the
out to be
bucket.
correct?
Nope.
No,
We got things to
never
do.
mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here, it looks like the only way forward is down, since the lift won't be coming back, but that's okay. You've got a bucket. Did you know that buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices? It's true. You can fall on a bucket from literally any height and survive.
I don't feel like that's true, narrator.
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
How clumsy of me. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I always
Stanley
forget the
decided to
order
go to
of
the
the
meeting
computer,
room.
so I have to
Perhaps
check
he had
them all.
simply missed a memo.
I think the
What
next
new
one might be the
mysteries lay in
boss's
store for our
secretary,
bucket
though.
loving heroes today. Let's find out.
I think.
Yeah, there's the two in that room, and then the boss's. The one in the first room, two in that room,
Stanley
one in the
clutched
boss's
the bucket
office.
tightly to his chest and
then
entered the door on
Stanley.
his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
The bucket was guiding him.
This is
Thank you,
certainly the
Bucket.
most logical explanation.
Bucket, can you guide us to an ending? Bucket needs its own theme song.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I feel like Bucket doesn't wonder about anything. Bucket knows all.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
No, we wait. And just take in all the monitors. I'm still curious why that monitor shows something, like, regardless of if they're on or not.
Hmm.
Come on, open up. It's a long 30 seconds to wait. Just for the record. There we go. Here, Bucket, a present for you, bud. I never thought about trying to get one of the other endings after we get this. Since this is just like a restart ending. What if we,
Jump down to the bottom of the facility with Bucket?
Yep.
But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below.
It's not so dark down
Thankfully,
here
he
with all
fell
those
directly
lights.
onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall.
Well, Buckets do cushion you.
What to do next, Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually.
Maybe this will become
It's
an
what the
ending.
bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
And they waited, and they waited. Okay, there's one more computer.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Now this, Stanley thought to himself, this is a bucket. And indeed it was. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
And again looked where it's red and blue. Oh.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's
I wish
office,
he'd just open
Stanley
the
was
door
once
like
again
he
stunned
did
to discover not an
you know,
indication of any human
regular
life.
time.
Crushed, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Like he comes in, he goes, "Oh, we already know."
Was the bucket
He just opens the
guiding
door,
him?
you know.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I feel like it'd probably be pretty hard to get the speed run done with him not automatically opening it.
Yeah, you need an alternative, one of the other alternative starts, and they already have that with them.
Yeah, so I feel like once you get this
Stanley and the
far,
bucket walked straight
it'd be
ahead
like,
through
"Yep,
the
you're
large
screwed."
door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television
enormous room
screens.
with televisions
What
everywhere.
horrible
What a
secret
surprise.
did this place hold?
Narrator,
Stanley
open
and
the
the bucket
fucking
both
gate, let me
wondered to
through.
themselves.
I can drop onto that as it's rising. The bucket will save me.
The monitor
I know,
jumped
Will.
to
You
life,
cushioned my
and
fall the
Stanley
last
nearly
time.
dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
So the
bucket
ending
had never
area
seen
up here
anything
is
like
kind of
this,
red and
and it
blue.
very nearly
Maybe the
burst
last
into
collectible's
tears
there.
as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring
Maybe.
it that
I don't know.
everything would be
It's a
fine.
guess.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raised furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
What are you fighting
No!
on there?
He screamed into the
Goon.
bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in
They're
someone
tough
else's
shit.
No
control.
demolisher.
Never! He squeezed the
Goons
bucket
pick up the
tighter.
fucking concrete
His one
and throw it.
friend in the entire
Yeah.
world. At this point, he could trust no one except
No, I swear to
for the
God, this
bucket.
fucking demolisher, it's just like its last sliver of health just won't go down.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
As I say that.
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past
feel like the
began
last
to sink in,
collectible should be here.
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket
Damn it.
would
Up the
dismantle
stairs.
the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Like, I really feel like the last collectible should be here. That's red. Room itself is blue. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
I might be
Depending on
wrong.
what you're throwing down.
Wait, where's the number 3? Where's the 3? Damn it! Where is it? You know what? The more I bumble around, I don't think it's here. Unless it's here. Shut down.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
No, the bucket's evil.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn
Told
on
you,
the
it's
controls.
evil.
Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Huh.
You can get penguins.
Oh, I should do that for him.
Stanley
I was gonna
flipped
say,
through one video
this would
of
be a
silly
great
birds
one to
after
just
another,
pull up when you
and
got
then it
ammo
dawned
over
on
it.
him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all.
Should be like,
It
what?
was
Are
a
those
facility for
penguins?
monitoring
Why are there
and
penguins in your
surveilling
video
silly
game?
birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery.
conspiracy about bird watching.
Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible
no
paths his
idea
life could have taken,
what I made
this
in the past
one
seconds.
was surely the best,
Congrats.
and Stanley was happy.
I'm so happy.
I'm so happy.
Oh, there, it's at Stanley's computer, so
A soft wind blew outside
We
and
gotta get the
perhaps
phone to
rain
ring.
started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Finally, yes, the bucket. Yes, yes.
we're gonna
yes,
see
I
Weather
love that
Bucket,
bucket.
because now we escape.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So that wasn't the red and blue area. Where the fuck else is red and blue? Down, when we go down the service elevator?
Coming to a
Maybe?
staircase, Stanley
And I
and the
missed
bucket
it
walked
when I did
upstairs
that
to the
ending?
boss's office.
Because we got the one in the bathroom. It's red in here. The bathroom's blue, but we got one that was in the bathroom.
Yeah, that was the stinky one.
Mm-hmm.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Yes, all
As if
sheer
the
luck,
bucket
narrator.
knew
Open the
all
fucking
along.
door.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
And they started pushing buttons, all willy-nilly like. What's this button do?
The lights ran
Lights?
on an enormous
Oh my
room packed
god!
with television
Who'd have known the
screens.
button that's a
What
light
horrible
bulb would
secret
turn
did
on
this place
lights?
hold?
Oh
Stanley
my
and the
god,
bucket both
narrator!
wondered to
I'm so
themselves.
shocked. What will surprise us next? Oh, wow! Lights when you push the light button. A camera. Could it be? No.
The monitors jumped to
What?
life, and Stanley
Oh
nearly
my
dropped
god,
the
a bunch of
bucket
numbers. That's not a
Everyone
camera.
in the office was being
It was
videotaped.
cameras all
Monitored like
along.
guinea pigs.
Holy
The bucket had never seen
Christ.
anything like this.
Bucket.
He very nearly
Bucket.
burst into tears.
Fucking
as
cameras,
Stanley
bro.
held it gently, reassuring
Oh
him
my
that
god.
everything
Oh,
was
what's the
fine.
next button? Oh god. Oh god. I don't think I can take any more excited. I'm so excited I could pee. A square with a person inside. And an arrow. Alright, so we're gonna die. They're gonna put us in a casket and we're going to heaven.
Was the bucket
Is that
under
it?
the mind control facility's
I
influence
see no
as well?
casket for me to
Had
crawl
the
in.
bucket
Maybe
been told to do
I'm
things
supposed
it
to crawl
didn't
in
wish to do?
this
What kinds of
box
things
like
does a
some
bucket
sort of
want
cat?
to do,
Bucket,
or
can
what
I
to
crawl
do in
inside
the
of you?
first place?
We need to ascend.
These
Nimbly
questions raised
bimbly
furiously
drinking
in Stanley's
Milk from a saucer?
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter.
Going up
His
here
one
is like
friend
the
in the
worst.
entire world.
Like the
This
flash of the red.
he
It
could
doesn't
trust
bother me,
no
but I'm sure it's hell on some
except
people.
for the bucket.
I'm like, where can I look to make it as, like, not bad as possible?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content.
Why
Walking,
is there a 5
eating,
here? I still
working,
like to know
all
that.
of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And
Okay,
as the
Bucket.
cold reality
We're
of
gonna
his
push
past
no.
began to sink in,
Or off, I mean.
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its... Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
It's never over.
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the
think we did
bucket
it,
had
Bucket.
defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this
What
massive
kind of
door.
life you want, Bucket?
The bucket wanted to
You
learn
want to carry
roller
water
skate.
for me?
Stanley
Oh my
wanted to
God.
skis in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a
Don't
movie,
step
any
into
movie,
darkness.
but
We spent
then
enough
stop
time
it
in the
halfway
darkness.
through and
We
begin
live in
watching
the
it in
light
reverse
now,
from
friend.
the end.
Forever in the
True,
light.
it was a
in the
simple life
shadows.
they envisioned,
No,
but
never
it was
again.
one
No
they
more
lived
shadows for
together,
us, Bucket.
with one another to lean
Forever.
on, to
Forever in the
trust, to
light.
support.
You and me. See the light?
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself
no.
recognized the incredible
Run from the
calm
darkness,
presence of the
Bucket. Don't let it
needed
touch
the
you.
soothing warmth of the bucket would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket.
Chair, protect us.
Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it.
Fuck you,
Stanley
building.
realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
What was he about to find out, narrator?
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
What do I have
One
left,
man,
bud?
one bucket, one chance to
Not
seize their
sure.
destiny together.
We have to get
Mostly
that
just
one with the
wasting a lot of
desert
time.
and shit.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
The time skip one?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
We've already gone
Coming
down
to
the
a
stairs,
staircase,
though.
Stanley
Right?
and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
We've done everything off of the boss's office.
Basically, it's just finding the last Stanley figurine.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again
And
stunned
the,
to
skip
discover
ending.
not an indication of any human life.
Which, how do
Crushed
we
by the weight
activate
of this
that one? I can't
revelation,
remember.
Stanley may have broken
I'm trying
down
to
into an
figure that
emotional, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer
In the
luck.
meantime, I'm going to
Was
go
it
back
that
to the
bucket knew all
bucket
along?
ending and
Was
explore the rest of that
bucket
museum.
guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Because we have the heaven ending, but I need that phone to ring to get it.
Well, you can just do that through repeatedly restarting.
Stanley and the bucket
Yeah,
walked
that's a
straight
very
ahead through
good
the
point.
large door that read, Mind Control. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
I don't think we will.
The
both
door
meet a
behind them
violent
was
death.
not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nope.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Yep. We die together, friend.
I for the life of me can't find this.
That's weird.
Well, it's a big thing I'm looking at, but
As the
Yeah, I
machine
feel
whirred
ya.
into motion and Stanley and the bucket
I'm like, I
inched
can't
closer to their
remember for the life of
demise,
me how
Stanley
you-
reflected on how meaningless the
I
bucket's
know it's a
warmth
thing, I
and
just
comfort
don't
had
remember
turned
what you
out
do
to
to
be.
get the thing.
To be sure, it
I
puts the
gotcha.
mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket. But what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, me. Oh, we're saved. Female narrator. You got
Farewell,
anything to
Stanley,
say?
cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was
Dead.
crushed violently to death.
Dead.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Hey, so I got a question. Can you still hear me? Because I set the controller down. That's usually when the
No, I
sound.
can still hear you.
Can you see how
Okay.
arrogant it was for Stanley to take
Oh,
a bucket like
the bucket
this
was here
and to
originally.
claim it
It
for his
raised up.
own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Oh, my only option is to go that way. Well, that's unfortunate.
No man can
So all
own
I
a
missed the
bucket,
last time I was
and
down here was
certainly
going
not a
over to the
bucket as
stress bucket
dazzling to
area.
behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
No. We're going to restart and let the bucket
Oh, you can't.
die.
You can't get the skip
There
ending
is
with
something we can
the
do.
bucket.
Something we
Oh,
can
so
do
it's
together, you
another.
and I, that will
It's
right
just
this
the skip
terrible
ending,
wrong.
but different.
Yeah,
Or-
it's the skip
Let
ending, but
Stanley
different.
die. Let him be crushed by the machine.
This
Don't
ending
reset
is
the
completely
game.
unavailable, even with the epilogue is complete. By carrying the bucket through the new content ending, the narrator will be satisfied, never
All of his
bringing you
co-workers
to the
were
memory
gone.
zone.
What could it
Trying
mean?
to complete the new
Stanley decided
content
to go to
ending
the
again
meeting room.
without the
Perhaps he
bucket
had simply
will
missed a
skip
memo.
you right to the sequel ending alongside the fact that it will disappear. If Stanley
When Stanley
uses
came to a
boss's
set of two
bathroom to
open
revisit
doors,
the ending.
he entered.
Oh,
Yeah, there's the picture in the boss's bathroom you can
Just
click
a step
interact
through this
with,
door,
and it
Stanley
takes you
thought to
the memory
himself,
zone.
that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it
with
through
or
them
without
all.
the bucket? Without, right?
I don't know, but it's
We'll
not
take it.
possible
Time.
We'll restart
to
it.
get.
It's not possible to get with the bucket.
Yeah, the skip
Stanley
ending.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
All right.
and
Well, we'll
entered
take it
the
up here,
door
and if
on
it
his
lets us
left.
activate the picture, good. If it doesn't, fuck it. We'll restart. We have time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
And right into the bathroom to take a hefty shit. This picture?
I guess. I'm not sure.
Because that's a mirror. Or this picture. Yeah, we can't, having a bucket. Not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You just close one of your own doors? It's a haunted door. Alright, well, restart again. I need that phone to ring anyways.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly
Nope,
lit.
didn't ring.
Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He
Sorry,
hoped
Bucket.
very much that it was. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Going to the memory zone.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yes, he did. Clicking on the pictures ain't doing shit for me.
I don't know.
Ghost doors. Does this door close on its own? Nope. No ghost doors there. Nope. Ring phone, fuck.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes?
Is there something I need to do before the memory
Even
zone
now,
comes in?
Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like?
We've already done the
There
memory
was a
zone.
computer, perhaps, and a painting.
Yeah, but I thought there was
it
another
a painting
memory
or
ending.
a photo? He could no longer recall.
I think so?
Well, you said about the picture in the boss's bathroom activating the
No,
memory
that-
zone.
When Stanley came to a set
Well,
of
that
two
was like
open
in
doors,
the
he entered the door
notes
on
on
his
the
left.
Wikipedia page I was looking at.
Narrator mentioned memories at the beginning of this, so I'm going to try one more time.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nope.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought.
Nope. We got to come up with something else to do. Respawn.
As
his
of the
coworkers were
anniversary
gone.
update, this
What
can
could it-
only be replayed again post-epilogue by interacting with the memory zone picture in the boss's bathroom. You haven't got to the finishing the
Phone's
epilogue.
ringing. I can get to have an ending.
It's bucket time.
Does it say something different if I have the bucket?
I don't know.
Hey Stanley, it's me. Just calling to let you know that you left your bucket at home.
That is
So
Yes.
it's okay. I'm off to pick up groceries soon, so I could swing by your work and drop the bucket off at... Oh, wait a minute. This isn't your bucket. Wait, whose bucket is this? Well, if it doesn't belong to anyone else, I guess I could just, keep it. Yeah, I'd really like to hang out with this bucket for a while. Oh, sorry, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, have a nice day at work. I'll be here at home with my bucket. Bye, Stanley.
Lol.
Well, let's take the bucket to heaven. Oh, this is not heaven. Bucket, this isn't heaven, bro. Where did you take us?
Apparently still labeled the heaven.
I feel like I'm not moving anywhere. Like, it looks like I'm moving, but I don't think I'm moving. Is this the bucket's version of heaven? Those look like pedestals, like the bucket's pedestal, but giant. Bucket. What the fuck, bro? Yeah, I don't think I'm moving anywhere.
Yeah, this is correct.
I'm still trying. Is there anything to do in this variant of heaven? Or hell? Purgatory? I don't know where the fuck we are.
Apparently the game restarts on its own.
So I just
There's a
waited
choir.
out?
Yeah, apparently there's a choir that's singing bucket.
Is that what they're saying? If you say so.
Just
I
going
feel-
with what the wiki says.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotcha. We'll give it a few more minutes, I guess. It really doesn't sound like they're saying bucket.
That's what the wiki says.
Bucket. waiting, I guess. So, how are things, bud?
Their things and stuff. But yeah, you're at 55 minutes, so you're almost done.
I don't want to spend the last 5 minutes hanging out in bucket heaven. I hope it resets soon. Oh, it might be almost done soon. Oh, nope, there's the pulsate. I thought the pulsating was done. Hanging out.
Oh, sorry. Just manual restart.
Okay.
And then don't pick the bucket up. Go
Don't
through
pick-
the right door.
Okay.
All of his co-workers
So
were
you came
gone.
up with something.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Oh,
Perhaps he
interesting.
had simply missed a memo.
What?
You went left instead of right. You didn't notice that?
No.
When Stanley came to a set of two open
Anyways,
doors, this was not the
through the right
correct way
door.
to the meeting room, and
All right.
Stanley knew it perfectly
Go onto
well.
the catwalk.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room.
You're sorry,
But
in through
eager
the
to get
employee
back to
lounge.
business, Stanley took
Okay.
the first open door on his left.
Don't go through the door on the left.
Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's
catwalk.
incredible he wasn't 5
Stay on the
years ago.
catwalk?
Jump off the catwalk in the middle.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Don't
Why,
go through either
I don't
of
know
the
how to
doors and
convince you
look
of
to
this,
your
but
right.
I really do want to help
So,
you.
don't
to
go
show
through
you
that
something
door?
beautiful.
No, yeah, go through
Let
the
me
ones that
prove
goes to the red
Let
and
me
blue
prove
doors.
that I'm on your side.
Oh.
Give me a chance. Now listen
Look to
carefully.
the right.
This is
This door.
important.
Oh, the last
Stanley
collectible.
walked, and there it is. The last
That's what you were
Stick
sending me for.
Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something
I
just
never
for
would
the
have
sake
thought
of
this is
doing
what they
it.
meant by
Where
somewhere
so
ready
many
and
people
blue.
expect to be rewarded for the most
Yep.
trivial
I was
achievements,
thinking lighting.
you've insisted that a
Okay.
job well done
Manual
is
restart.
its own reward.
All right,
I
once
would
he's done
tell you
talking.
that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
All right. Begin game again.
Then go pick the bucket up.
Okay.
Stanley,
Well,
I'm sorry,
what the?
but I have to put a pause on things. It's those
I
figurines.
don't think I've seen that one
Those
before.
figures. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I
Oh,
would
we're
love
going to the
nothing
memory
more
zone.
than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Well, to the memory zone. Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. Ooh, ah. Whee!
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
7 of 6.
And
Oh.
here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the warehouse. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
In the vent? In the vent.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Fuck no, I can't remember. I think I found the one in the
bathroom.
Was it the boss's bathroom?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Positive.
No. The boss's bathroom was the 4th place you found a Stanley, not the 3rd. Well, I guess perhaps I shouldn't be surprised. Memories like these are so precious and so cherished that they all just sort of blend together, don't they? You know what? If the boss's bathroom feels like the 3rd place you found a collectible, then who am I to go making judgments?
He says nope.
Let's see. What came next?
I was pretty sure you found the boss's
Oh, yes, we found a
bathroom
Figley in
before
this
you
pink
found
room.
the,
Oh, well, I
stairs.
can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Pink room. I don't remember pink room.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was behind the boss's office. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
A video? This seems like somebody's homemade video for like finding all the collectibles. Hey, it's me, Larry. Welcome back to my videos where I show you to find collectibles. Today we're doing Stanley Parable, the 6 figurines. As you can see with the green arrow, it's over there once you go through the boss's office. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
I spend a lot of time on it, but it's 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else. And
then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's
this would
all
be
of them.
slightly
They're all
different
collected.
if
It was a moment
you found them
unlike
in a different
any other.
order.
Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
There's a lot of different combinations. Oh, blue door, red door.
I don't know.
I think they go to the same place. They do.
Choice is an illusion in ways.
And then
You are in the present.
there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Goodbye, memory zone. Okay.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels. Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Most distinct and clear because it was.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Thanks for watching the other video.
Yes, I love that video.
The pink room that doesn't really
Still
exist.
don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Okay, so, I was hoping I could go to under the stairs and get a bonus one. He said no.
Back the way you came.
Pretty much.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful
I am
thing.
just curious.
Why does anyone ever choose
If
to
I
leave
fall
it?
off there?
Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of curious, but not enough to, like, if it resets me, to deal with this all again.
Yeah, I feel that.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Alright. You win, narrator. Oh, yeah. Wasn't there actually, like, a collectible out and about in here? Oh, the jump circle.
Look, it's the terrible new
was
content
in the
that we were
room you just
originally
came from.
sold on.
Oh, okay.
I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past... Oh, yes! The two doors! Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
I think Joyce is an illusion again.
And before everything
That
else,
way.
there was your office.
Yep,
Is there
this
anything
is
else?
my office.
Was there something that came before your office?
Nope.
There's something I feel I can remember.
Non-existence.
I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore.
Oh, no.
But he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once. and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh. So, grab the bucket, you say.
All of his co-workers
I thought you
were
needed
gone.
to. You're fine.
What could it mean?
Oh, so there's
Stanley
like
decided
nothing?
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
Yeah,
he
you're
had
just
simply
kinda
missed a memo.
following,
It's
going through the
bucket
motions.
time.
Does it matter what choice we make at this point?
Stanley clutched the
no, I
bucket
think it's all
tightly to
kinda-
his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth
It
and
changed
comfort
back.
now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's
all
office
changed back.
was where he'd find answers.
It all changed back, Leo. Broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs
So,
to the boss's
we're done then.
office.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, that's pretty much all the endings minus the,
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned
saving the
to
baby
discover
and
not
dog.
an indication of any
That's 4
human
hours
life.
of your life you'll never get
Crushed
back.
by the wind, but Stanley guessed the correct
Yeah, I'm
code
good
by
on
sheer
not
luck.
doing that.
Was it
If
the
you wish to
bucket
see the
all
4-hour baby
Was the
ending,
bucket
you
guiding
could
him?
probably find a YouTube video of that. That's
This is
not
certainly the
me.
most logical explanation.
Because I will not be spending 4 hours streaming Saving the Baby. Alright, well, I guess that puts a wrap on Stanley Parable then, huh?
Yeah,
At
you
least
just
as far as...
wrapping up trophies.
Well, we're not going to stream endless hours of me just trying to get
Stanley and
24
the
hours
bucket
of
walked
play.
straight ahead through the large door that read,
You sitting there for
Mind
4 hours
Control
at a time.
Facility.
Yeah, just not gonna do that. Alright, bucket. Let's say goodbye to everybody as we jump into the abyss. Alright, we're just gonna kill ourselves without turning on the light so we can live in eternal darkness and damnation in the bottom. But for anybody watching, whether it be now or in the future, whether you watch the whole thing, bits and pieces, skimmed around, skipped to the end, whatever the case may be, know that I always appreciate your views. I appreciate you, the viewer. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your favorite fictional co-host, Leo, out.
Bye, everybody. But first, look at the stickers changing in the light and darkness. What?
That's just programming, shading, and textures.
They're here. They're gone. They're here. They're gone. They're here. They're gone. They're here. They're gone. I really wish I could cut the video while I'm doing that. Just immediately cut out. They're here. They're gone. And bam, the video ends. But unfortunately, I have to hit a series of buttons to get there. So I can't do that neat little like, they're here, they're gone, they're here, they're gone, they're here, gone. So maybe the editor will make a short of that. They're here, they're gone, and like cut it off. I'm going to tell them that. Cut it off right in the middle of gone. All right, bye everyone. It's enough of that.
Phrasing isn't great gold.
We'll talk to him. We'll see what he says. All right, bye again for like the 100th time.